Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. For today, I wanted to share the story about the time where I fainted in high school during a football game. And how I remembered about this incident was the fact that I was on YouTube, on the trending page, and I happened to watch the clip of Wendy Williams fainting on her show, and I was scrolling through her comments or the comments on that video, and there was this comment left that made me laugh because the girl had asked a question saying how she wondered how it felt to faint, and that's what I used to wonder all the time before I fainted, and it triggered that memory in high school, and I just wanted to share this story with you guys because it is pretty funny to me and how everything happened. So if you guys want to know how I fainted and everything that came along with it, then go ahead and keep on watching this video. Earlier in the day, American Red Cross had came and kids were donating blood, and I was part of that group where I wanted to donate blood because I do have the universal blood, which I can donate blood and anyone can use it if they need it. So I like doing that. And I remember my boyfriend didn't want me to do it that day because he had said that he had heard of the other times that the American Red Cross had came to donate or to take blood, that a lot of kids fainted, and he didn't want me to faint. But I told him not to worry, that I had already donated blood before. I knew what not to do and what to do to prevent fainting. So I went on and proceeded with the donation, and that was around noonish. So school ended and my boyfriend was in the football team, so he went to the locker rooms to prepare and everything for the game, and I would go to a booth stand and sell snacks for our year to raise money to for our graduation, for our grad night, for our prom and everything. So I would work there, and I also went there because I didn't want to pay $5 or $10 to enter a game because I was cheap, so I would rather work than pay money, which is pretty funny. But I remember I had told the teacher that was helping us, with all this preparation, I told him that I had donated blood that day, that I couldn't lift anything heavy or strain myself or anything like that because it could cause me to possibly faint. And he kind of was laughing about it, and he was like, "Oh, do you really think paper plates and styrofoam cups are gonna make you faint?" And I was like, "No, but I'm just letting you know." So he gave me napkins, paper towels, styrofoam cups, and plates to go ahead and put inside of our booth, which even a toddler couldn't go ahead and get it and wouldn't unbalance them at all. So I didn't think anything of it. And I remember when we were prepping inside of the booth, this guy named Tony started talking about this girl who had fainted in his class. And so it had all the other kids inside the booth started talking about people that had fainted during the day and what they had heard and all these stories. And it's so funny how right at the moment where they started talking about these kids fainting, I started feeling very uneasy. I remember I was inside of the booth, and there's a cutout, a big ass window so kids can order their food, and there's a table at the very end of it. And I remember holding onto that table because I was like, if I do happen to faint, I do not want to hit the back of my head and just bust it open. So I held onto it, and Tony was directly talking to me at this point, and he was talking very fast and he was talking very loud. But I remember that as he was talking, the tone of his voice got lower and lower and lower to the point where I just couldn't hear anything that he was saying. And I was like, that's very weird. I'm talking inside of my head, and I'm just like seeing his mouth move, but not hearing anything come out. And then at the same time, I started feeling like I was spinning. And I was like, what is going on? I was very confused. I was like, what is this that I'm experiencing? And at the same time, shortly after, I was looking at him, and I told him, I think I mumbled it. And I was like, Tony, I don't feel good. And I guess he said, what? Because I remember him going like this, like, what did you say? Couldn't hear him, mind you. I couldn't hear him, but I saw him go, what? And I said, Tony, I don't feel good. And as I was saying that, I can like feel myself saying that, maybe it mumbled, maybe it was gibberish because I couldn't hear. I saw that my vision around my eyes, it got black and it turned to a tunnel, and then it just all went black. And then the next thing I noticed is that I'm on the floor looking at the ceiling with a bunch of people looking at me. And I was so confused as to what just happened. my teacher is there, all these other kids are there, my friends are there. They're so concerned. They're looking down on me and they're like, Angeles, are you okay? I remember Mr. Brooks, which was my teacher, he like held my head and he's like, Angeles, are you okay? And all I can think about was like, dude, why are you on top of me? Get off. Honestly, I was like, why are you on me? That's all I was thinking. I was like, why is this dude on me? And as soon as like I was able to talk, I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like, I'm fine. Like, what just happened? And they're like, well, you just fainted. You just fainted. Like, you just banged the crap out of your head. And I don't know. I think I laughed or I was like, no, I didn't. Or I don't know. I don't remember what the case was because I was just so like confused that I ended up getting up and they're like, no, don't get up too fast. Don't get up too fast. And they made me sit down on a stool. So actually, as I was watching this video back, I said that they let me get up and, you know, sit on a stool. Actually, the EMTs came from across the field running to me to see if I was okay because they contacted and they got news that someone had fainted. So they came to me, checked me, asked me questions and everything. And I was fine. I was like, yeah, nothing hurts. I'm fine. And they were the ones to clear me and they were the ones to let me sit on a stool. Don't know how I forgot about that. That's like the major part of the story. And those same EMTs were the people that helped my boyfriend when he got his concussion in that same game, which is so fucking funny now. And they were like, oh my God, you just fainted. Like, you just fainted. We were just talking about people fainting. And it was pretty ironic, the fact that right at the time that they started talking about people fainting, I ended up fainting. But basically, they said that they were talking to me and that they saw that I was hanging onto the table edge and that apparently that I did say that I wasn't feeling good, but I was really mumbling it. And that Tony, the guy that I was talking to, was like, what are you saying? And that all of a sudden that they see me like put my head on my shoulder and slowly I let go of the table. And that's when I fell backwards. Like I went doom, doom, boom. Hey. So I just went back, right? And I banged the shit out of my head, guys. The funny part is that at that time of my life, I don't know why, I was wearing downtown extensions. So the wefts of the extensions actually saved me from actually hitting my head. So I didn't feel no bumps. I didn't feel like my head was injured, anything like that. I started laughing and I told them, I was like, guys, I'm wearing extensions. Like I don't feel anything like on my head. And then they started laughing and they were telling me that they were really scared because my eyes started twitching while I was on the floor. So they thought that I really had busted my head open or something like that. So they were really scared and they're like, oh my God, like, are you okay? We're going to go ahead and tell your boyfriend that you just fainted. And I was like, no, don't do that because he's like, you know, prepping for his game and I don't want him to worry about me. Let him worry about his game instead. So that same game, he ended up getting a concussion, and earlier I had fainted and busted my head. And then the next day I had a really swollen neck, guys. It was insanely swollen and I just couldn't move my neck because of the fall. And yeah, so that was the time where I hit my head or busted my head in high school while in a football game because I donated blood, so that led me to faint. And it was pretty embarrassing because at the time that I decided, or my body decided to faint, I was really worried that people were going to think that I did it on purpose. But who in their right mind would bang the crap out of their head for attention? Definitely not me. Definitely not me. So that was a time where I feel like my extensions possibly could have saved the back of my head from busting open. And yep, that's it, guys. I will talk to you guys in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.